Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Gashi's Command TV, the tallest smile Black Africa. William Samoei Ruto anaongeza taxes usiku na mchana. William Samoei Ruto has even promised to increase more taxes and introduce new taxes. And he's already doing it. And listening to William Samoei Ruto and remembering what he said during the campaign, then you have all the reason to get worried and ask a number of questions. Before I give my critical analysis about William Samoei Ruto and the damage he's causing to our economy, I want you to listen to what he told Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta when he was the deputy president.
Mimi nataka niwaambie hii mafuta inaongezwa usiku na mchana. Mimi nataka niwaeleze ya kwamba these people don't understand the damage they are doing to the people and the economy of Kenya. Kwa hii taxes wanaongeza usiku na mchana. Na mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa hapa Manga, tafadhali, mkiona tumesimama hapa mbele yenu, tunawaambia ya kwamba tutengeneze hiyo serikali inakuja ambayo inaelewa lugha ya mwananchi wa kawaida. Watu wa Manga, mko tayari? Fortune 500 companies.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, where is Maga? Is it in Kisii? I'm not sure whether it is in Kisii. But if you come from Maga, I would like you to maybe say what you think about William Samoei Ruto. Because that time, most probably, you had him talking about it. Today, William Samoei Ruto has already introduced heavy taxes on bread. Bread that is the food that is consumed in Kenya every morning. In most cases, bread is usually on the table in many families, especially where we have young children. William Samoei Ruto has introduced VAT of 16%. William Samoei Ruto has also introduced tax on tea leaves. That means that mkate na chai wengi mtakuwa mkionea hivi sasa asubuhi. That means that William Samoei Ruto does not remember what he has said or what he said. That it is coming out very clearly. Because when you look at or listen to William Samoei Ruto, what he says today is not what he had said earlier. And he said it without blinking. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard for yourself. And this taxation by William Samoei Ruto is dangerous in my view. This taxation without representation, without development, accompanied. Because you see, you cannot continue taxing Kenyans and people cannot see the development that you are doing with the money that you're taxing. As we know very well that Kenya is among, and you see, Kenyans are being taxed, and William Samoei Ruto is borrowing from IMF, and unknown to many Kenyans, Kenya is among the 10 top countries that are heavily indebted to IMF. It's among the top 10 heavily indebted countries to IMF. And even if this is the case, William Samoei Ruto is not blinking. And he is introducing new taxes every day. And it is resulting into some things that look weird. For instance, we know that when the country is developing, people move from rural areas to urban centers. But what are we seeing, ladies and gentlemen, in Kenya? Kenyans are running away from urban centers to the rural areas. Because in the rural areas, life is a bit unbearable compared to the cities compared to the urban centers. In the rural areas, you can go to the garden and plant some seedlings and maybe within a month or two, una chakula. But kama unavyojua, jiji kama Nairobi ni shamba la mawe. So, when William Samoei Ruto introduced these new taxes, then you see things that I'm calling weird happening in our country. When this is happening, corruption is still rearing its ugly head. And one thing that shocks me is that even the West does not blame William Samoei Ruto over corruption. I remember akina Hemston, akina Smith, akina alikuwa anaitwa Clay, wale ambao mabasada, wale ambao walikuwa wanakabiliana na Daniel Toroitich arap Moi because of corruption. I don't know if you remember them. These guys could not keep quiet. Today, the American ambassador does not say anything about corruption in Kenya. The British High Commission does not say anything. Transparency International is not talking about anything. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is not addressing the issue of corruption in Kenya. It is very, very unfair. And if William Samoei Ruto is not careful, if a revolution is going to happen in this country, it is going to be because of punitive taxation. If a revolution is going to happen in this country, I think what is going to trigger this is the taxation. Yesterday, Azimio threatened to go to the streets. And I'm sure this is going to happen. When I saw Babu Owino there, when I saw Akina Sifuna there, I can tell you, if people goes to the street, it will be very, very difficult this time to remove them from the street. Because they are angry and they are hungry. Because they are tongue-tied and they are fed up. Because the guys who are living in glass houses are still stealing their money. When you have a cabinet secretary being let out of the hook after stealing, after being accused of selling stones to farmers, then you have all the reason to get worried. Because from August, William Samoei Ruto is presiding over a kleptocratic government, a government that is hopelessly corrupt, a government that does not care, that doesn't care, a government full of wastage. Remember, if you read today's diaries, one thing is very clear, that Rigathi Gachagua's current home and Harabi Annex is going to consume 1.12 billion in terms of renovation. Where is the urgency, by the way? If you ask me, this is embezzlement of public funds. This is misuse of public funds. This is telling us that the government does not care. It only cares about its leaders. Because when you look at the government, you see it's a government that is putting its priorities wrong from all angles. Why do we tax Kenyans to renovate the office of the deputy president? And remember, this just the other day that State House was renovated with billions and billions of money, taxpayers' money. Every day, we read the Controller of Budget report of embezzlement funds, misuse of fund, misappropriation of funds. Call it theft from all angles. This is theft. While this is happening, ladies and gentlemen, William Samoei Ruto has clinically put Kikuyus in strategic positions. For instance, you look at Dede Nyoro, the man in charge of the budget. Look at who is the man in charge of treasury. Look at the person who is in charge of finance committee in parliament. Look at the person who is going to introduce this finance bill in Parliament, Kimani Ichung'wah. So you see, the Kikuyus have already been praised strategically, because you see, they are the one who are feeling the heat. So vile ambavyo wanafanya, our sons and daughters ndio sasa wanatumiwa because you see, most of the businesses here, all said and done, belongs to the major communities in this country. The Kikuyus, the Luyas, the Luos, and the Kabas. These are the people who owns business in this country. And you see now the majority being the Kikuyus. Sasa, watu wao wanawekwa pale katika mstari wa mbele. Ladies and gentlemen, where is this country headed to? Tunaenda wapi jameni? Because from where I sit, we are headed in the wrong direction. From where I sit, this country is fomenting trouble. From where I sit, I can tell you Kenyans are very angry. I can tell you, you know, these guys, they better be very careful. Very, very careful. Because you cannot tell me that you're going to eat bread and a person in Mathare and Korogosho and Kibera and where ako pale hajakula chochote, wewe unakula mkate wa boflo, unabugia siagi, and the person in the slum has not eaten anything. He will come for that bread. One day, he will come for that bread. Karl Marx talked about the class struggle. And the class struggle, one day, the laborers will go for that bread. The laborers will take it by force. Waswahili walisema, wegi wape, usipowapa, watajikulia kwa mikono yao. That is the truth of the matter. Kile ambacho tungetaka kusema hapa, much as we may want to pay taxes, taxation that look like is punishing Kenyans, taxation that doesn't bring any development, taxation that is painful to the common mwananchi doesn't add up. The funny thing is that William Samoei Ruto is telling Kenyans to tighten their belts when Kenyans have no belt. Hatuna mishipi, hatuna imeisha. We have nothing to tighten. Guys, what do you think about William Samoei Ruto? Where are we heading to? Because if you ask me, William Samoei Ruto seems to be getting it wrong. When this is happening, some of his advisors in State House are pocketing millions and millions of taxpayers' money. Ati ni mawaidha wanatoa pale. The economy is not moving in the right direction. The economy is getting a thorough beating. Our shilling is not appreciating as it should. Wakenya hawana pesa mfukoni. Wakenya wanalia. Wakenya wanalalamika. And many people are, by the way, are regretting why they voted for William Samoei Ruto and UDA in general. I'm not sure if William Samoei Ruto will get even half of what he got in 2022. He'll be very, very lucky to get more than 1 million votes. I don't know. And if you voted for William Samoei Ruto, and I want you to be very honest, would you vote for him again? That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, please like this video, share it, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.